been one that a lot of people have brought into the mix, especially with regards to school fees payments and so on and so forth. We heard the reports from UST that came with students who had to pay school fees or need to pay their fees, otherwise they wouldn't take exams. And there were many other policies that people, think should be suspended to help students easy access to education and finishing their studies. Well, on Facebook, we need you to tell us what policies you think should be put in place to help students of Rivers State. Let us know. You can share those thoughts with us on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. You can also send us WhatsApp messages using the number 0809 030 6416. Now, remember that we are live on Facebook and on YouTube. On YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. On Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. So join us at any of those platforms and make your contributions. In the meantime, let me come to my guest in the studio, Mr. Amadi. Oh, before I forget, you can also download the Nigeria Info FM app. Very important. Yes. Go on to the Google Play Store if you are using an Android phone and download the app, Nigeria Info FM app. If you are using an iPhone, you can use download the app from the iOS store, and you get access to all of our contents unlimited. It doesn't matter whether you have an earpiece or not, which many people would say they need so that they can tune into the frequency. Well, with the app, you don't need all of that stress, okay? Now to Mr. Amadi. First off, let's start with the changes in Rivers State and what is happening with Rivers students under NURSS, especially with the emergency rule. Has there been any changes or differences that we need to know about?
Okay. Good morning, Rivers State students, and good morning, Rivers people in general. I'm the NURSS National President, Comrade Amadi Victor Chijioke. And in regards to the emergency rule in Rivers State and the welfare of the students under the emergency rule, it's actually affecting the students' community negatively. Because the governor is being suspended by the president, the assembly members are being suspended by the president, the local government councils are not being heard by the duly elected local government chairman. So it's like NURSS as a body is working solely without any of these government parastatals which are necessary to help us achieve our various aims and projects. So the welfare of Rivers students, there are a lot of things the governor promised Rivers students, which is the bursary, payments, scholarship, grants, and all of that. But due to the state of emergency declaration by the president and the suspension by the governor and the assembly members, it has indirectly or directly affected these processes. Because before the governor was suspended, there were processes on ground for the payment of bursary to Rivers State students. There are also procedures on ground for other packages for Rivers State students. And I believe this emergency rule has dearly affected the student community. And it's something that I doubt if the students can be able to bear. So on our own part, we've made moves to condemn the suspension, because we believe that if I thought there should be a state of emergency, it shouldn't lead to the removal of the governor and the assembly members. We've been in this country and we've seen different cases where the former president have declared state of emergency, but they didn't remove duly elected governors and assembly members. They just declared state of emergency. But this time around, the president took a different step to go ahead to, should I say, illegally remove the governor, the duly elected governor of Rivers State, and also the assembly members who are duly elected also. So these are people that we have voted in. Actually, currently now we don't have any democracy in Rivers State because we didn't vote in the person who is currently sitting there. He can't do our bidding because we didn't elect him. He can only do the bidding of those who appointed him to the office he's occupying. So it's been so difficult for us as a union. And the students' community has been duly affected by this.
Have you made any efforts? Because, I mean, as much as you have said that you are not pleased with the situation is here. And whether you like it or not, I mean, you are going to have to live with and deal with the sole administrator in charge. So many would say the only option would be to seek a way forward, which would be to perhaps make your issues and bring your issues and concerns to the table and have a conversation. So in that sense, have you made efforts as an association, NURSS, to say, well, these are some of the things that we've had in the pipeline with the governor before he was suspended. These are some of the promises and some of the plans that are already on ground, and we were hoping that these things would be materialized, but then what happened, and here we are. If you can look into these things and see which one you can help us accomplish. Have you tried that tactics?
Before the governor was suspended, we were on moves in regards to, like I said earlier, in regards to the welfare packages for River State students. And after his suspension, we also made moves to make our displeasure known to the general public. And I think we came here to Nigerian Info. We also aired our view in regards to the suspension of the governor. We totally condemned it and appealed to the president.
So you said that. You said that before we get that. But the point is now going forward. Have you tried to get in touch with the sole administrator, because it's been here for what, over how many months?
It's not been accessible. It's not. There's no way we can
written to him.
There's no way we can even reach out to him, because he's not here for this. Like he's not here for. He's here to, according to what he was sent, to maintain peace and order. So or whatever in the state. Okay. So he's not here to actually.
But you are aware that he has met with workers. He has met with religious leaders. He's met with traditional leaders. And several other issues that other unions and associations and people who are integral to the development of the state have raised. They've been able to meet with him. So is it that there isn't anybody that is representing the interests of students working with the sole administrator?
Yes, there is.
So there's no way to get through to him?
There's none. I can tell you for the fact that there is no access to the sole administrator or any way whereby the sole administrator can think of because he has barely 6 months. So what is actually here for now is just to do the bidding of the president, which is, according to him, to maintain peace and order and ensure that democratic institutions return in the state. So I don't think there is any students focus, any focus for the students or package for the students in his plans.
Well, you wouldn't know because you haven't reached him. Okay, how about try getting through using the Ministry of Education?
Yeah,
have you written letters to perhaps the permanent secretary or whoever is in charge of the ministry?
We've reached out to, even before now, we've reached out to the Ministry of Education. We've reached out to several parastatals, other ministries too. So we've been doing that as a body. It's something that we've always been doing, even when the governor was on seats, and we've always been doing that. We've always been in touch with them. So so far, we haven't gotten any positive response. That's to tell you that there's no plans for the students' community.
All right. Let's talk about the student loans, because there's been plenty of conversations. I mean, in recent times, the accusations were that those monies are being mismanaged, a net fund, and we had students from NANS in Lagos State. I think there was a protest directed towards the VC of their school and the management of their school, and several other students who have come out to say, well, these monies, they're not getting it. What is the state of that student loan here in River State and the various schools across River State? Are students actively involved? Because I remember one time when it first started, the reports I got was that many students in River State did not believe it and are not participating because they think it's not true. Yeah. Has that changed? And if so, how easy is the process to access those funds?
The NEFON loan, when it started, the students from the records available on the NEFON portal, the South in particular, the applications from this region of the country was very low due to according to how you say it, due to the fear of repayment of the loan by the students. But so far, there's not really been much improvement. That's why the NEFON officials and also have organized some sensitization programs in various campuses. I think I'm aware of the one that was done in RSU, the sensitization program in RSU, the one that was done at Ignatius Adjunct University of Education. So the Vice Chancellor of RSU, Professor Zebo BP, has in his own way too, has also tried with the management, with the DSA of RSU, to see how they can organize and to sensitize students about this program and to let them know that is not something to be afraid of or scared of, to encourage them. So I encourage university students to do well to apply, register. I know that there are some challenges in regards to most of the students not receiving the loan after registering.
So why is that? Why is that the case?
It's something that I don't really know, but we've made our displeasure known to the NEL fund officials. So we've told them that some students that applied for the loan have not received the payment. But
how long ago these students that applied? How long ago did they apply, and how many? Is it up to months? You said
yes, it's been a long time. I think since when the loan was introduced.
So that means the first set of people that applied when it was introduced are yet to receive their monies.
Not everyone that received, just some persons. So it's not everyone that is receiving the loan. So would appeal that the process of payment of the loan should be transparent enough. Possibly it should get to the entire people who applied for the loan, not some persons being paid. And also the challenges of the payments and the rest should be sorted out.
Let's take it bit by bit. We need to address this bit by bit so we can explain. You said not many have got. Those who have gotten, what were the criteria? Those who haven't gotten, have you tried to sort out what could have been the reason why they were not getting? And which of the schools? Is it the Federal University of Port Harcourt, or is it the State University? Is it Polytechnic? Is it where did these people apply from to access these loans? And did the management of those schools explain why some people are not getting yet? That's if you have made efforts to find out from the management upon getting information from the students that they applied and they have been waiting but are not getting any monies.
Yeah, we've been able to meet with the management of some institutions like RSU, University, Ignatius University of Education, and some of the complaints are that the BVN of the students and the account details, there are some mistakes and errors. So that has hindered
with the
payment.
BVN.
Yes.
But that's the BVN the students are using on a regular, right?
Yes. And so
we need to get on. We're not in a hurry. So let's get it. The BVN is a problem, but the account is functional. How?
No, the account details, like some of them made mistakes. There are some mistakes in the when they're applying for the loan. So there are some mistakes in the.
They missed a number.
Yeah, they missed also things like that, and also some of them applied with all these microfinance banks instead of using like OPay. The rest they should have used.
Okay, they don't want them to use the fintechs. They want them to use
traditional banks. So these are the challenges that made some students not to be able to.
But were they giving these information from the beginning while they were applying? Were the requirements stated to the students that, these are the things that we need or you need to put in place to get?
The requirements for the application of the loans are on the portal, and while applying to those who applied for the loan could see it and also could fill in their details accordingly. So those instructions are there on the portal, so there's no discrepancies or something like that. Okay, these are it's not clarified enough. It's clarified. So although I would say even those who applied correctly have not still received the loan. So that's another challenge.
I want to ask if you have applied or you are scared to apply.
No.
Okay. NURSS president, who will find out after the commercial whether you applied. And let us know how the process went. But when we come back after the break, we're going to dive more into this. Perhaps we have students who are listening, and if you have applied for this loan, and it would be nice of you to let us know what the process is like and whether or not you have gotten the money in your account. With that said, when we also come back, there's more to talk about with regards to the leadership of NURSS. All after the break. Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That's the handle on Facebook. Get on there and join the conversation.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info. We'll
All right, good morning. The conversation continues here on Nigeria Info, and I still have Mr. Amadi with me. He's the NURSS National President, National Union of River State Students. So it's a national body, and it looks out for students of River State extraction all around the country. Quite a few things. When we started, he talked about how the emergency rule is affecting the welfare of students, and how some of the plans and demands that they've made to the governor before he was suspended are now being kept on hold. There's also no way to get in touch with the sole administrator. He has said because they do not know of anybody that is representing the interests of students working with the sole administrator that could be of help to them. So that's on one side. On the other side, he has said for the NEL funds, student loan funds, there's also some issues around there, and that was what we were trying to deliberate on before we went on the commercial. He says, well, even those people who apply correctly still find it difficult to get their monies. Those who have not gotten, they say it's because they did not apply correctly. Well, we have to bring in the financial secretary of NURSS in the studio. Mr. Precious, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, listeners.
Okay, I'm sure you have information about this to tell us.
Yes, sir.
So before we come to your president, let's hear you quickly, please. What exactly are the requirements and why? Because what he said was even some people that have applied accordingly still are not getting access to their monies. Why?
Like the last time we checked before we were called upon, the River State University in particular, when the emergence of Professor Zebo BP entered, I think they have started doing just to that particular university. UST is the most one we are aware of.
With compliance level good,
yes,
people are getting their monies.
Compliance under Professor Zebo.
So what are they doing differently there? Like, did you notice any discrepancy or any difference between how they are applying in UST versus how they are applying in other institutions in the state?
You know, they said when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. Since the emergence of Professor Zebo BP in UST, there have been changes in that particular institution, and he has always been a student-friendly VC. So he knows the plight of the students. He knows what they want. He knows things that affect them in every area they tend to. So he has noticed that NEL fund loan is the major key fact, and he has given the directives that the loan must be paid to each student that made that application. Like I tell you the gospel truth, UST has been on top gear on receiving that payment.
So aside UST, where else?
Aside UST, Ignatius also, they are also getting, but it is not as that of UST, River State University. The compliance in Ignatius is just within, 70%, but UST is topping the rank with almost 95%.
I like the fact that we usually start with UST and we go to Ignatius. It's almost as though we're avoiding Uniport.
No, Uniport is, the compliance in Uniport is not that much, but because there are diverse persons from diverse diverse ethnic blocks and different states.
But that's the case in River State University as well. There are people from other states there.
UST, one will always refer to UST is because, one, it is an indigenous university, and that is the bedrock university that lies in River State. So every interest, the River State student will focus there more to check the checks and balances of that particular place. And the person that the mantle was being handed over, I think he's doing very well in that particular.
So what is the fate of River students in the University of Port Harcourt as it concerns the loan? Are there any particular things that students who want to apply for this loan should know or should do from what you people have experienced or seen in your going about, especially with the UST case that you are praising now?
The Vice Chancellor of Uniport is not appointed by the state governor. So he's been appointed from the federal government. Yeah. So I don't know, anybody they find worthy of making such appointment, they should give. And if that person comes, the person should concentrate on taking care of the student.
So at the moment now, you're basically saying you don't have detailed information as to whether students are getting easy access to the loans or they have problems with applying or the process is tedious. You don't have any of those information.
As a union, when we went to UST to check the compliances, the VC
I'm talking of Uniport.
The VC opened the doors for us to check. We can check anything we want to check in any place we want to access. But in terms of Uniport, there are some restrictions restricting us as a national body. They tend us to understand that this is a federal university. So
but the loan is for everybody. It's not about, the loan did not specify federal or state. Or yes. Its loan is for students and it's for students. So why?
I don't know. I don't know how theirs operate, but so far we've checked. So far, the major complaints we're getting is Captain Amadi, Ignatius Ajiro, and University of Rivers State RSU.
And before we go to your president, one more thing with US, you are praising the VC, you say it's doing fantastic. What is happening with the school fees and exam situation?
You know,
students complained and they're asking for this to be looked at in a different approach, especially with the economic, the state of the economy at the moment. It's not funny. So what's going on with that,
the
exams and
workers
school
of the
fees?
university must be paid. So every university has a policy that they work with. Ignatius Ajuru came up with, you can pay part school fees, then you can pay the remaining later. By Professor Okechukwu Onuchukwu. And Professor Zepo Bibi has not been the one that originated the no school fees, no payment.
But continuing with
he
it.
just came into office. So I think he has not even been there up to 4 months. So if been given a chance, maybe as a friendly student VC, maybe I believe he might come back to check the school fees and know how to do checks and balances. But so far the directive have been there. Even before his inception, the directive have been there, no school fees, no exam. So I don't think to know if it was enacted.
And what is the position of NURSS on that?
The last time we checked, there was a case of Ogoni, the University at Ogoni, the Polytechnic at Ogoni.
Kensairowiwa Polytechnic.
So in the previous administration of NURSS, that was when they said no school fees under Comrade Precious Abbey. They said no school fees, no exams. And then NURSS, then I was also executive then. Then NURSS went there, we did a little mini protest then. And then the current VC then removed that particular no school fees, no exam. It was like half school fees, half exams. So that half school fees, then you write exam, then later you can counterbalance. But later we found out that half school fees, half exam, some students in that particular place who eat up the school fees and not even remit it afterwards. So the university, they struggle every day to buy diesel. They struggle every day to run internal memos within the school that requires finance. So when all these things are being done and the money, the student school fees are not being remitted, how do you think they can run all these costs?
Let's come to you, Mr. Amadi, President. Some of the things he said, I think I like the last part of it, acknowledging that students also are contributing to the problem. Is there a way you are trying to sensitize students to understand the implications of their actions?
Yeah, like I said earlier, the institution management, just like Rivers State University and Ignatius University Education, have organized seminars to sensitize the students' community about the application of this loan. They also invited the Director General of the NEL Fund loan to this sensitization program, and he was there present with his officials, and they informed the students about this loan, how to apply, how to receive it, and also how it can be paid back. So they also encourage students to apply and to remove that fear.
No, I'm not even saying beyond the loan. Beyond the loan, I mean paying of their fees, because I also was a student.
Yeah.
And I know what students do. Some of them, because they've written the exams. And I think that's why some of the schools came up with the policy that the exams are the only thing, that's the only thing you can use to hold a student. Because some of them, as long as they've written their exam, they will not pay school fees. And then they will find a back door to go get their documents, because we have some corrupt people that work within the school system that will collect monies from them and find a way to get their papers sorted out for them. That happens in the institutions in this country, whether we like it or not. Shouldn't play blind to what is fact.
Yeah.
So you now, as a union, is there a way you are trying to make them understand that their actions could also be responsible for why some of these policies are being introduced by institutions?
Yes. We've tried our best to inform the students to pay up their fees, and those who cannot pay up their fees should do well to apply for a temporary withdrawal. And I know that some of the students are not aware that they can withdraw for the period. If they don't have money to pay up their fees, they can withdraw for a certain period of time. Then when they're able to get the money for their fees, come back and continue their academics. In order to avoid being dropped out because of financial challenges. So we've tried our best to encourage the students to pay up their fees. And I think some schools, just like in Ignatius University Education, students were writing exams and also paying fees. Yeah, so the portal was still open. And students were sitting exams and paying fees too. So nowadays, I feel the vice chancellors and of the various institutions and the rectors and provosts are trying their best to see how they can accommodate students due to the economic challenges in the country by leaving the portal open, at least very close to the exam period, for students to pay up their fees. Unlike when it was 1 month before the exams, the portal had to be shut down.
All right. Let's take a few calls. There's still one very important question we'll get to because I think I started off by telling you that we see politics creeping into student unions. In NURSS, we hear of factions. Are there factions in NURSS as well? We'd like you to clarify that for us, but let's first start with a few calls before we come into your response for that question. 0817-923-0007. Again, you can call 0817-923-0002. You can also use the Facebook handle at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH and ask your questions. BC White says, Amadi in the studio there with you is suspended because of gross misconduct. Okay. Young, I've just talked about factions, so we have started seeing messages. Young, Paniku says, good morning, capacity leader. I applied for the student loan since February, which have been verified. What's up till now? I haven't gotten anything from them. I don't know what is causing the delay. So this says he applied since February, and possibly nobody has told him whether he did not do something right or he did something wrong. And so he has not seen his money. And this person says, wisdom, Dingba, concerning student loan. I know some persons who applied for loan at the early stages and they got the funds. But recently, some students who tried to apply were not able to get it. Reason was failure of math number verification. I'm not sure if they fixed it now. Justice Ori says the man in your studio is not the NURSS president. He was suspended on the grounds of gross misconduct. In fact, specifically, they said things that has to do with properties belonging to NURSS. So I think we might have to get into that conversation I wanted us to delay on. Okay, let's take a few calls first, and we'll come and get your response to some of these. Akanto from Bori. Good morning. Quickly, let's hear you.
Yes, good morning. Yes, Andrew, good morning. Yes.
Good morning, Akanto.
My name is Akanto, as you already mentioned.
Yes, straight to the point, please.
I was former NURSS president at the Kennedy Base on Samoa Botanical. I think I was also as a senator, and I also a secretary of the Senate Committee on a budget in 2016, 2017.
Akanto, go on.
And I want to applaud the NURSS president who is already sitting with you. I think the man is doing well. I did not participate in the election, but I saw a candidature as somebody who can lift NURSS from a lesser level to a greater height. And I want to say it clearly that he has been trying, even the way he's interfacing with the high institution in Rivers State. They are also mentioned about the International Junior University Education. And also, let him know that even the Canadian Basis and what they are doing the same. They don't cow students. They allow students to write exams. And of course, while they are paid their fee, they are paid to now. They are also giving room for instrumental payment at the Canadian Basis and what because of the economic pricing in the country. That is to say that students can pay by installment. Now, I want to say kudos to the NURSS president of interfacing with institutional university.
All right, Akanto.
But the issue of balkanization and polarization or injection of politics in the NURSS, it is not new. But I want to tell NURSS people who believe in NURSS, like me, who is also a potential former NURSS president. This man is doing well.
All right, Akanto. Thank you very much. Let's hear Magnus from our 3. Good morning, Magnus.
Good morning, Andrew.
Yeah, good morning.
And to your guests, I say good morning. Very quickly, I think the issue we are having within our students in our various universities is as a result of politics that has slipped into the activities of students on campus. Andrew, if you must contest for the NURSS president or even the president of his campus, you will be able to affiliate yourself with one big politician or one baba like that somewhere. And that particular thing is affecting the student community. If you're not with party A, no, they will not recognize you as for anything. If you're not with party B, you will not be recognized for anything. So until we begin to trace our roots, to know the cause, or to know the why the body was formed, to promote and to make sure that student affairs is being taken care of, we begin to have this issue.
All right,
there's nowhere you go to in our various universities that you will not see factions or you will not see division among students because of interest, conflict of interest. What my Oga have said, what my Oga have not said. I want to appeal. Student welfare is very important. And NURSS president there in your studio should be able to organize and mobilize students for unity, not for disunity.
All right, JJ and Rumigbo, good morning.
Andrew, good morning, and let me greet your guest. Andrew, let me digress a bit before I land to my point. When our president came in here, he told us that subsidy is gone because people are smuggling petrol into other countries. Meanwhile, he is in charge of those who are supposed to cover the borders. That's the same thing you're telling me right now, that students cannot write and pay their school fees later because there are problems in the school. There are people who can cut corners. They should be able to purge themselves of such people so that the system can work well. It's not the duty of the students to purge themselves of those people who are not doing well in the system. After all, they recruited them and they screened them before they recruited them. And the question to the guests in the studio, I learned two people have factions, one led by one forum, another one by Dixon. Can you explain what is happening? Because I learned some of them are calling themselves sole administrator because what's happening in the state now has crawled into your system.
All right.
Is it true?
JJ, thank you. Let's come to you now. I think you heard the points. Quickly, Mr. Amadi. So you heard some of the messages as well. Some people saying you're not the president. Some say, oh, you're suspended, or that it had something to do with properties belonging to NURSS. And then you also heard the scholar say, well, you have some individuals who are now even calling themselves administrators. So what is the situation?
NURSS under my leadership has been united, and we've tried our best to remain focused.
Was that an election that brought you up? I think we should start from there.
Yes, there was an election that
When was this?
In December last year.
Okay.
And we were inaugurated on December 7th, and since then till date.
Who handed over to you?
Precious Abe.
Okay, I think we've had him one or two times here as well.
Yeah.
So he handed over to you
Yes.
as the NURSS president.
Yes.
So where is the faction and those people saying you were suspended? What's up with that?
After the governor was suspended from office or removed from office by the president, some persons allowed themselves to be used as political tools to impersonate my office and impersonate the union, going about spreading false allegations and trying to rubbish the image of myself and the union in particular, which we have tried our best to protect and guide so far since we've assumed office as national executives. We are all united. All my ESCOs are together with me. The Senate arm, which is responsible for checkmating the executive arm, led by Senator Peter Side Victor, is also united with the senators, and they've had a sitting where they met and passed a vote of confidence on my leadership and the entire executives, and urge the public to discountenance all those propagandas that were brought up by those who are desperate to who are hungry.
Who are those? Who are these those? Are they also members of NURSS? What exactly is the aim or reason?
They are not even students in particular. They are the Forum Fred.
You know them?
Yes, the so-called impersonator who is Forum Fred is not a student. He sent a vote to so.
Which of the Forum Fred? Is it the Forum Fred from HA?
Yes. So he's not a student. He's just an impersonator. And we've written to the security agencies, and they will definitely face the consequences of their actions.
Right. Hold on. According to your laws, is someone who isn't a student allowed to be a member of NURSS or participate in NURSS activities?
No, not at all. You can't.
You have to be a student.
You have to be a student. So
including a PhD or master's student.
No, undergraduate students are allowed to hold executive positions.
Okay.
So even if you're a student, there are procedures to follow. You have to conduct elections for you to be able to acquire these offices. But for just come out from the blue moon claiming to be the NURSS executives, no. And the NURSS is an independent body. It can't be dissolved or suspended by anybody. We have a Senate arm which is responsible for checkmating the activities of the executive arm. And the Senate arm have come together, all the charter presidents from the state, the 7 institutions in the state, Rivers, RSU, Uniport, Ignatius, they all met with the Senate president, including students, charter presidents from outside the state, who are senators. They all sat and discussed about all this and totally discountenanced these allegations.
Okay. Let's hear Justice from Mudioga quickly. Justice, good morning.
My friend Andrew, good morning.
You're welcome.
Your guest in the studio is being economical about the truth.
Okay.
The truth is that there are factions in NURSS. Mr. Forum Fred was appointed the acting president of NURSS.
By who?
By Martins Opara, who is the representative of NURSS at national level.
Who is, hold on, let's allow him finish, gentlemen. Justice, please, who is this Martins Okpara?
Martins Okpara, a former president of SUG, University of Port Harcourt. He represents Rivers State at NURSS level.
Okay.
That news was aired in your studio, where he said he has appointed Forum as the acting president.
Justice, I can't remember that. If we have it, I will look for it, but I can't remember that. So I would also employ you not to be quick to use the brand to say that we announced it. And another question I want to ask is it correct? My guest says that according to NURSS constitution, you have to be a student. So is he correct when he says that?
Okay. Now, does he have any evidence to show that Forum is not a student?
Is Forum a student?
That Forum is not qualified to hold elected
Is Forum a student?
Yes, he is.
Which department and which institution? Which department and which institution? Which department?
Philosophy.
What level?
Andrew, I need to confirm his level.
Okay, but he said philosophy. That's the department.
The man in your studio is not president. They have set a committee to investigate him.
All right.
If you go, he should face the committee.
All right, thank you. Quickly, the financial secretary, you have something to say. All right, let's hear you quickly.
I think every institute, every organization, or every institution has a constitution that is enshrined around them. And NURSS is one body that has a.
You have to speed up. You have under a minute to do that.
A unique constitution. The last time we know of Forum Fred, he was one-time chief of staff to the Azrendo he mentioned at SUG level. Then the Senator Dixon that also claimed a fractional president. The last time I think I know him was when he resigned from SUG president, also in Uniport. So
were all these people students at that time, or are they still students now?
They are not students. They didn't even pick form for any election. They are not students. These persons are just waivers. Let me use that word. They are just roaming. Because the sole administrator entered and they think they can fight one on the same as the essence on student affairs, maybe they just feel like the government is no more in power. They can just emanate from anywhere they think they can't come from and declare themselves sole administrator, declared one NURSS president from each. Maybe somebody from Ogibo will also declare himself one.
All right, we have less than 2 minutes. Let's hear from you, Mr. Amadi, quickly, as we attempt to wrap up. You heard some of these guys. So what would you say to these things? It seems as though it's now something that's becoming a characteristic of student unions. In NANS, we have similar issues going on now. In NURSS, we're hearing similar issues going on. What is exactly the problem?
The problem is that students, or should I say some persons, are allowing themselves to be used as political tools by some politicians to cause division in the student community for their own personal interest, not as if they want to serve the student community or what they are doing for the welfare of the students. They all want to use it to acquire personal interests, their selfish interests. So these are the issues we have been facing, and we've been fighting against these issues. We'll be telling students to avoid themselves being used as.
All right, gentlemen, that's too much we can take. Thank you very much for your time. We have to go now. Hello Port Harcourt comes in shortly. We'll take a commercial first. Good morning.